Yeah. So my name's Sarah Harvey. I've been acting since I was about 12. I did quite a few things in England, everything from theatre to small parts on TV. And then I came to Canada. I did a few short films. And then I got quite sick, so I didn't do anything for about 7 years. And this last year that I've been back in the world, did like a few commercials, some short films, music videos, and now I've really been focusing on writing. I've almost finished writing a feature film, and I've just started writing a 6-episode comedy. So yeah, and I just submitted like a short film to the Steve Mann Film Festival. So I've been pretty busy just doing little things like that, really.
Awesome, Sarah. Well, Sarah, welcome to This Is Real TV and the Actors Garage. It's amazing to have you. We're trying to build a platform of artists just like yourself, and it's always great to know another writer, of course. But so, Sarah, tell us about why do you want to do this? Like, why? Out of all the professions in the world, why write? I get writer's block sometimes, and I want to freak out, but I do it because.
You know what? For me, I like to try and create emotion. Like if I can make people feel things, like I'm very visual. So when I'm writing, like I'm acting things out as I'm writing. And sorry, my child's just come home.
It's okay, no problem.
But like, you know, like I act things out as I'm writing the scene. Like, and I really, when I'm writing, sometimes I start crying when I'm writing the scene, you know, because I really feel it. And some of the stuff that I've written, I've shown it to other people, and they're like, you know, like they feel the emotion, and to be able to produce an emotion in somebody else like that, I think is powerful. Don't get me wrong. I had a full-time job until I lost it recently. But when I was sick, I was off work for like 2.5 years, pretty ill. And when I was sick, I kept thinking, you know, like at one point they said, you're never going to work again. You're never going to walk again. You know, like I was bedbound. And luckily, like we found the cure, like, do you know what I mean? But, you know, it made me like reevaluate like my entire life, like what's important, like what I want to focus on. And, you know, my acting has always been a big part of me, but I've never been able to do it to a point where I can pay my bills and solely focus on my acting. So in a weird way, COVID has actually I've been able to focus a lot of time on, because I was working full time and doing 2 acting classes of an evening and filming bits on weekends and taking vacation to film like commercials and whatever. But now there's all these competitions and monologue competitions and you name it. And I've actually just been able to focus a lot on acting and stuff and writing. So I've actually been making the most of my time. But it's definitely an area that I want to be spending a significant amount of time on compared to what I used to. Because I think that I can take it somewhere. And I think with being around the right people, right. I think it's a lot to do with connections in this business, and being able to produce and get it into the right hands is crucial. So I think a lot part of it's creativity, and the other part of it is business sense. And like I have the business sense, I don't have the connections, but I think being able to produce quality is essential. Like the writing's got to be like quality, but also the production. You know, you can't. You can film great stuff on a phone, but it's getting the right angles, it's getting the right sound. Like everything there has to be an eye for detail in these things for it to look like quality, right? So like I did that short film for the Mann Festival, and don't get me wrong, it was not filmed with quality because it was me and my phone by myself with no sound team or no colorist or anything like that. But you know, I think people got the gist of it. Like, do you know what I mean? On it after the closing date, but yeah, like I think that really brings me alive. You know, like like the acting, feeling it, but then also being able to produce something and watch it back. There's something pretty powerful about that, I think, you know.
That's amazing, Sarah. Well, I just want to say, I'm going to get Andrea in a minute to talk about the Actors Garage. First of all, I want to say that's amazing, and I'm super excited, and I appreciate your courage to just keep going after everything that you've been through, because a lot of people, it's so easy. They just give up. They just think that life is over. There's a hiccup, there's an obstacle in their life, and they feel, I can't do this. So for that reason, thank you, because we need more people like you. And I think that you're super talented. And I'm so happy that we connected.
Yeah,
I feel that we are going to all connect and help each other one day. And I totally, hi, what's happening? How are you?
You know, he just came back from a bike ride. Okay,
Awesome.
you're going to go?
You want to be in the film one day?
Get ready for bed.
So, and
okay.
it's crazy when you say you just get your phone. I mean, Andrea and I, we just came off of filming our own feature film, but back in the days, 10, 15 years ago, we were with our what were we using in there? Our 8mm, what was it?
Yeah, we had that 8mm, we had the XL1.
XL1s, and we're going into just the middle of the streets, forests, you know, two guys, a camera, we're getting buddies to just gotta act out. But that's the drive that we had that kept us going to today. You know,
so, I'm a big believer in literally you can do anything. It's only other people that make you feel like you can't. You know, there's no reason why anybody can't, like, if they do things right, get a show on Netflix. Do you know what I mean? It's having the right, knowing what the model is, and getting your foot in the door, whether it's bombarding people, like whatever it takes. But I do believe when there's a strong will, you can make things happen. But again, like, you can't throw shit at the window and hope it's gonna get through. Like, you know, there's got to be, you know, and that's the thing about working in a team, right? You know, you need different ideas, you need different, you know, especially if you're writing for several different characters. It's good to have a voice from other people for those other characters, so you can get different perspectives. And you know, I'm part of like a big acting group here, and you know, when this film festival came up, the director of the acting class said, well, let's do one together. And he came up with doing like this YouTube, like, oh, we'll do like this web thing all together. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm out. Like, I think it's going to look terrible. And I'm really glad that I did opt out, because their acting was good, but the whole story thing was dreadful. And it was just, you know, I don't want to criticize someone else's work, but if I don't believe in it, then I can't be a part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to put my name to something that just isn't.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's your name on, you know?
Absolutely. You have to be comfortable, because, and you know what, you were actually being respectful and being honest, rather than some people going through the process and then bailing out halfway through, or at the end not really doing it with 100% of the
you've got it. I think you need people who are going to be honest with you about your work. There's no point everyone around you saying, oh, that's great, that's great. You need people to say, where even if you're doing a monologue, no, you didn't hit that right, or you know what, that sentence, that dialogue in that scene doesn't go. You know, you need that criticism, because that's how you get better. Do you know what I mean? So I want to work with people who aren't scared to speak out and say, you know what, we could do this better, or we could do this a different way, or no, that's not good, Sarah. You know, it's like, I don't get offended easily. So
all right, Sarah, that's amazing. That's good. So we're gonna bring in Andrea on the call here. Andrea's been waiting patiently.
Sure.
We are in development right now. We are not sugarcoating everything. We are at the ground level right now. We have a physical location in Vaughan. That's why we're doing these podcasts with artists, writers, actors from all over the city, that when the band is up, we can come together and create good. And I love how you said that, quality content, right? We have all the equipment, and of course we have the will and the drive and the passion that we know we're going to create good stuff. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take. Patience is a virtue, But Andreas, tell Sarah about our whole concept with the Actors Garage, and let's get Sarah's input on it. What she thinks.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, again, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time. We understand everyone's busy, especially when you have a family. We have a family
Okay.
as well, so we get it. But I really appreciate what you said. We kind of echo a lot of that. The purpose of the Actors Garage is essentially that, to create a space of and a platform just for people from different backgrounds. Doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, what you've done. A place for people to come together, share their ideas, exercise their muscles, whether it be acting, writing, directing, even if you're interested in lighting. The idea is to kind of give people and expose them to everything that's necessary to create, whether it be a web series, a short film, a feature film. And we want to give people that platform. We don't have any, we just want to make it clear, there's no hidden agendas here. We're not looking for membership fees. We're not looking for you to sign up to anything. Essentially, all we really ask is that you check your ego at the door, you come in,
Yeah.
you put your best foot forward, and absolutely what you said is integral. Make sure you're honest with people. I really appreciate what you said about not being able to stand behind something that you may not believe in and just put your name on it. A lot of times, and I know this from experience, when you're getting into the industry, you sort of feel like I have to do whatever I have to do in order to get my name out there, in order, and there's some truth to that. I do, I don't subscribe to that completely, but I do agree that there is an element of sort of, giving up sometimes your best interest to just get.
You should see some parts I've done.
Yeah, and
were like for free. That were like, and I was like, did I really do that for free? Like underwear scenes, and I'm like, really, did I do that? But it's like, again, it's like there's things that my friends would say to me, why would you spend like 10 hours shooting that for like free, and you're like having to do that with that guy? And I was like, well, I like the director. I thought the storyline was good. So, whatever. But, anyway, it is what it is. It for me, it's more, I just don't want to have my name against really bad rubbish. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Hey, there's a reason that they have the name Alan Smithy, right? They came up with that in Hollywood too, right? If a big time director doesn't want his name attached to something, it's directed by Alan Smithy, and that's a real thing. So it's not, it goes, no, and I'm not joking. That's actually a thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the movie American History X, but the director of American History X essentially didn't want his name attached to that film. And he almost went down that road just because Edward Norton was a little bit difficult to work with at the time. But anyway, that's
oh, wow.
Yeah. But anyway,
that's a really good. It ended up being a really good film.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah.
But just to get to the point, I also really appreciate what you said about creating quality and creating those emotions. Like for us, like for Vince and I, we're extremely passionate about film. It's about that visceral feeling, right? It's about that feeling in your gut.
Yeah.
And like it's like every time like I watch a Stanley Kubrick movie, I get that visceral feeling in my gut. And that's what we're always searching for, right? That visceral feeling, that feeling that doesn't only provoke your mind, but also affects your body at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And I really appreciate what you said about that. And that's our goal is to try and achieve that. And look, along the way, there may be some bumps and whatnot, but we also don't want to create rubbish. And I love your expression of that word. And we just want to give people that opportunity to come together and share ideas, right? And it's important, like you said, like if ideas were, we'd all be rich. But we have a lot of ideas, right? And sometimes you might think you have something, but you run it by somebody else and they sort of help you focus and understand what's more important. And like you said, you need perspectives on character. Like if I'm going to write a character that, I don't know, is a single mom from a bad upbringing, like I didn't have that experience necessarily, right? Maybe I can pick things from other movies I've seen and books I've read, but it would be nice to actually maybe interact with a person that may know a little bit more about that kind of experience, right?
Exactly.
That's what we want Actors Garage to be.
Yeah.
And we hope that that's something that you can participate in, and perhaps maybe, you know, come and join us when we ever get to the point that we can actually get into the garage again.
Yeah, yeah.
And just experience it for yourself. And look, to be honest, maybe it's not something for you, right? So what we're trying to do is just open ourselves up to all.
Listen, I'm always up for connecting with fellow actors, but more importantly, people who want to produce, because I feel like it's a bit of a club when it comes to producing. Like when, you know, people are only interested, you know, if there's like who's the showrunner, like who's going to be the showrunner and all that. And
Right.
I think sometimes people lose sight of, you know what, you know, I've got friends in England who produce, and, you know, they've won awards for like shorts and stuff. And yeah, they went to university and they got a master's in whatever, in film, but they don't have like any big experience. They're not a name as a showrunner. And I think a lot of people seem to get locked out because of this status thing about having a named showrunner. And I think it puts a lot of people off producing or wanting to like really, like you see a lot of people doing short films. You know what, short films are great, but I don't feel like I mean, they're good starting points. It's good to make maybe like a demo, like a pilot, or like even like, you know, you're going to make a trailer for a film, like just to see if you can generate funding or whatever. Those things are fine. But like, I mean, people spend so much money doing short films and entering them into all short film contests. But I feel like, you know, trying to produce a series or an actual film and then get it on TV, or, you know, somewhere where it can be viewed by large numbers of the public. I'm very excited about doing something like that, because I think it takes more time, but you need to have people who are just as enthusiastic and committed to do something like that. And I think that's rare. You know, I think a lot of people are happy to give some hours for a short film because it's a lot quicker, right? But to have people who are dedicated to dedicate their time for like 6-8 months and work, you know, in between their jobs to film, you know, to do something, I think with doing like even one episode for a TV series that you can try and sell the concept, or a TV show, I think, you know, a short film is usually maximum 10 minutes, right? Really not even 10 minutes most of the time. But to do something that's minimum 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or a feature film like an hour and a half, I think that's what the public want to see. Like, I know me, I prefer watching like something where I can really get into the characters rather than a short film where it's just a bit of a flick of an idea, you know? So,
for sure.
You know, the problem is, Sarah, with short films and feature films is that with a feature film, they're much more, they critique it a lot more, and it's harder to get into the festivals. Like, it's got to be really outstanding. A short film, they could, at a festival, implement more films into the hour.
So I totally agree. But I think, like, just to let you know, there was a guy that I knew in Toronto, and he filmed Ben's at Home, which was
yes, I've seen that film.
So he filmed that in Toronto. He budgeted it, or like he did it by himself, like with his friends and whatever, and he got that on Netflix.
Oh, that's actually not a bad film at all.
So he did that in Toronto by himself, and he got it on Netflix. He sold it to Netflix.
You know what?
So there are ways to do it, I think. He didn't go into the film festivals with it, I don't think.
There's a lot more platforms, especially with streaming services now. It's definitely opened up a lot, and so that's definitely true. But
also, you look at how people binge watch stuff now.
Yeah,
they can't keep up with the content. Like,
you
know, back in the day, it was like people would watch one episode a week.
Exactly.
You know, now it's like people watch an entire series in 2 days.
In a night.
So it's like and now you've got Apple and Amazon. You know, like you've got all these streaming services they all want content, but you know what they want? They want quality content. So it's like, if you can produce something, you know, Fleabag. Have you watched Fleabag?
I've heard of that.
Okay. If you haven't watched Fleabag, please go on Prime and watch Fleabag.
Calling me to watch that. Yeah.
Okay, so my TV series that I'm doing is along that line.
Okay.
It's probably a little bit more out there than Fleabag, if I'm honest. But it's so Fleabag, she again filmed that and produced it, wrote it all by herself. So she was an actor out of work, and she decided to write and produce something that she could be in because she was a starving actress. She originally put it in a little tiny theater in the middle of nowhere with, like, you know, 20 people watching it. And then she managed to get funding to film the TV series, and she got it on TV in England, and she's now one of the biggest successes ever. So I dream big.
But that's good though. But that's
good. We have the same mindset, Sarah.
we're on the same. You know what? Like for us, like a lot of it is like we talk about this all the time. Your achievements are your achievements. Your failures are your failures. No matter how big or how widespread they are, we're not very, you know, we're not about like, oh, look what I did kind of people, you know.
Yeah.
Really about the quality of the writing, the quality, the technical side of it. When it comes to sound and editing, those details, like you said, details before, those are very important to us. And we just kind of want to find like-minded people that have that same feeling. And look,
like I have to say, I'm not against doing short films. I see a bigger picture. Do you know what I mean? So and that's what I'm about. Like short films are great. I think it's good to get your name out there. Enter the like I did a short film called Gay is Happy or something like that. I did it in December. It's not being released till next year. But
that was on your IMDb now. Is that the image on your IMDb?
Yeah. So I did that, and that's now won 50 awards in short film contest around the world. 50 awards. I only had a very small part in it, but I mean, everybody did. There was no main actor, but I mean, yeah. So, you know, short films are good for getting a little bit of recognition, but I don't really understand how you make money off short films, or, you know, I think I just dream big. So I always think big, like
be ambitious.
I'm very ambitious. I think you can get stuck with short films, and then you end up being the short film director or the short film filmmaker. You know what I mean? So you we honestly, the film we did, Jack's Chair, and we'd be more than happy to share that with you and get feedback. And it goes to what you were saying. You don't want to just be around people that are always going to give you the pat on the back, like, oh yeah, that was great, and then turn around and go like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I'm going to be honest. And with Jack's Chair, honestly, we were supposed to make a 15-minute film, and we ended up making a 62-minute film. So we also realized, like, hey, if we're going to do it, and we're taking this risk, and we're putting our own money into it, and sacrificing time, we both have full-time jobs and families. It's like, let's just swing for the fences, right? Like, why cut it here? And that's what we did. And the part of us wasn't even sure that was the right idea. Like we were skeptical about it ourselves, but we did it. We jumped off the cliff, and it was what it was. And we want to do it again, right? And we just want to keep doing doing it again.
I think it's all about surrounding yourself with the right people. Like, I'm a big believer. I'm a little bit of a hippie, and I believe in energy and good energy. And I think when you're around the right people, you can make great things happen. You're
always the right guy. You're around the right person with Vince, because Vince is very much about the energy and
like me too. Like, I'm a big believer, and you visualize it every day, and you
vision boards, Sarah.
I have vision boards. You've no idea.
Don't get me started.
I have pictures of Ferraris and everything. Believe me, I dream
big. That's
big.
amazing.
But like, I just think that I really think that, you know, people tell you what you can do, and oh, you can't do this if you don't know a showrunner. And I just think bollocks. Like everybody starts out somewhere. And if you, it's like Fleabag. If someone said to Fleabag, "Oh, you don't know a showrunner, you can't get that on TV," that would never exist, right?
Exactly.
She just wrote the next James Bond film, right?
Wow.
So, you know, it just shows don't let other people be your limitation. And I feel that you know, yeah, you're always going to come across roadblocks and stumbles, but there's always ways around them too. So whatever.
Maybe who knows? I mean, Andrea knows I have like 1,000 book ideas. And he's like, okay, we got to do one at a time. But I mean, I could see you definitely, you know, maybe writing monologues, and we could showcase it at the Actors Garage right now. Why not? You know, a bunch of monologues that are copyrighted by yourself. And that'll be, because, you know, every week we're going to try to do something different, scene studies and monologues, and maybe we'll be talking about lighting and green screens, like a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to develop a team, and like Andrea said, hey, not everybody's going to be interested, and some people might have their own ideas, but that's okay. We're good like that. We want to stick with like-minded people, and always, we don't think we know everything. We want to learn from everyone as well. And we're always learning until I'm 99 and a half. I want to keep learning.
That's it though, right? I think if you think that you know everything, then you're in the wrong shoes.
Exactly.
There's always things to learn. Like I know with my writing, like I'm constantly learning, like, you know, and sometimes I get scared to share it because I'm like, well, you know, there's other people that are like very experienced writers that might look at my stuff and go, whoa, like she's put that in the wrong thing, or blah 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 blah. But it's like, you know, I'm not perfect. I've still got a lot to learn, you know. So
well, I think if like what you're working with, if your raw skill or your raw talent or the idea is there, I think people will appreciate it. At least people are honest with you and give you honest feedback.
Like,
constructive criticism, it's all about constructive criticism, right? Like
100%.
They need to also sort of help you in that regard, and they can't just say, oh yeah, that sucked. All right, well, help me understand what sucked so I can improve it, right?
Exactly. It's like I was on set with I did this short film a few months ago, and you know, the director was asking to do a shot this way, and I'm looking at the shot and I'm like, well, if you do that shot, then you're going to get this in there and that's going to look terrible. And I said to him, and I you know, you don't want to be that actor telling people how to do things, but it was like, it would have been a really terrible shot. And I said, that's why I said, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. And I was like, okay, thank God he had that, you know, reaction, because he could have been like, shut up, you're the actress. And he would have been completely within his right to say that, because I was just the actress, right? But I said it like in a way which was like, you know, just the thought, you know, if you shoot it that way, you're going to get that and that. But if you shoot it from this angle, you're going to miss that and it might look better. And he was like, oh yeah, you're totally right. And I was like, oh, thank God, you know, like, because not everybody likes, not everybody likes, you know, someone else's opinion on their thing.
If you're one of those people that's like, well, I'm the director, so it's like,
I think there's a way to say things. There's a way to say things. It's about being very diplomatic with your approach, I think. But that's
unless you gain the title of Martin Scorsese, then you
yeah. When I get to that level, then.
Hey, Marty, don't set it up like that, Marty. Don't do it.
That'll be when I'm driving my Ferrari already, though, I guess.
Absolutely.
Question for you. You know,
sure.
Obviously, you know, you've had the experience. You said you're part of an acting group as well.
Yeah.
Currently,
I've been part of two. Well, I used to do Bad Dog like back in the day when I first came to Canada, but then recently I've been doing Alpsa acting. He's like up at Young and Bloor, and then there's the Toronto Actors Studio, which
nice.
I've been doing in they're kind of on Queen Street East, like in this little theatre. So he's still doing classes online, but I've literally been doing so many monologues and just shooting stuff myself. I literally didn't have time to do the stuff for his class as well. And I was like, I found it like a little bit like, okay, I'm paying to do this stuff online. It's not the same as when you're acting in person. And I was like, you know, and I found a lot of it was monologues that involved two people. And I don't have anyone here to like do the lines of the other person. So it's like, you know, so they wanted you to phone a friend, get your friend to do the lines of the other person so you can film. And I was just like, you know, I don't really like asking other people to, can you just go on the phone and do these other lines for me? And so it just, I was like, you know, I think I'm just going to like step out until you're back in the theater, just because,
having said all that, what's something, because we're obviously we're opening up ourselves. We want people's opinions. What, is there anything that you would like to see that you're not seeing at these actors workshops you've been a part of? Like, what would you like to see differently, perhaps, that we could maybe incorporate into Actors Garage? Just
you know what you're not seeing a lot of is improv. I would say that everything is very focused on every acting group I've been in. It's very focused on monologues, on scenes. I'd say Alta acting is probably a little bit better. Like they focus like every detail down to like your eye line. Wow. Like where is your eye line? You know, like and I think like I got a lot from his classes, but it was a very moody atmosphere, whereas the other group is like a lot more fun. You know, like yeah, the atmosphere there isn't pleasant, but the coaching is very good. But yeah, no one really focuses on improv. And in England, improv was a big thing. Like I had an audition with Steven Spielberg for it was called The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. I think it ended like Narnia, right? And so I had an audition for that, and it was all improv. It was like, okay, you're one of the 7 dwarfs. I want you to devise a scene. You got 2 minutes, and I want you to come out. So you were put into groups of 3, and you had to be one of the 7 dwarfs. And you know, so it's like
more of a challenge.
Yeah, but it's like you need to be able to think quick on your feet, and it's like if you forget a line, you've got to be able to improv without going, oh, I forgot a line. You know, it's like you have to be able to roll with things and just, you know, like. So I think improv is like really missed.
That's funny you say that, because a big part of what we do is improv. We're actually quite upset because right before this whole lockdown went down, we actually had shows booked to do improv shows.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they all got canceled because of all that.
Yeah, we got a sponsor with Dave & Buster's in Vaughan, and we were going to be the entertainment there every few weeks, and we're so excited. And literally like a week before all this happened, we're like, no.
Oh, that sucks. So, like I know that when, I don't know if Bad Dog's still around, but when I was at Bad Dog Theatre,
I think it is.
Okay,
yes.
So I don't know where they are now. I know they used to be on Danforth. But when I used to go to them, it was all improv, like, you know, and it was just like, you know, like thinking fast and being able to like just like get going on your feet. And I think I don't see enough of that now. Like I think Second City probably does it still.
Right. Yes, they do for sure.
But improv is like, I think, you know, to me that's like probably the core of being an actor, is being able to have that spark and that energy to just, you know, like when you need to. Lines, you know what, there's so many different ways to do. I did that monologue slam competition.
Oh yeah.
And you know, like, and I did not like my monologue because I feel like I get conflicting advice with the 2 acting groups. So one of my acting groups is like, tone everything down, you know, talk as if you're talking to me, you know, like, so less theatrical, like very, you know, so, you know, I wasn't impressed with this, you know, and it's very like that kind of tone. And then the other place is like, no, we want energy, we want to feel it. And it's like, and it's a lot more theatrical, right? So and when I looked at everybody else's monologues for Monologue Slam, everyone had that energy and that theatrical side, and I felt mine was very flat. And you know, it was just you know, I did it in a tone that was just like I was talking to somebody in a room. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, I wish I put more energy into it. So, but they're gonna do another one soon. So
that goes to show you, though, right? The difference in opinion and what people interpret as, you know, what I guess what they.
That's the thing with monologues, right? I mean, monologues is down to whatever that director wants for that show. Like, you know, when you go into an audition and they want you to do a monologue, I mean, if you're reading lines for a show as an audition, you know what that show is, you know what that character is, you know what they want, right? And I think that's the whole thing. Like I can do the lively, I can do the, you know, the subdued, the very real. Or I can do the more theatrical, right? But it's knowing what that show and what that character requires. I think that's, to me, that's the key, right?
Yeah.
And
so Sarah,
it's like having a director. Like when I did the music video in October, I worked with such a great director. He was like, no theatrics. I want this very natural, very real. Like, so everything was very soft, and you know, and it looked fantastic. When, you know, I'll send you the link for that, but it's not released. I think it's getting released in May, but I can send you the link if you don't share it. But it looks good. It's very real. It's very natural. It's not theatrical at all. But you know, again, it was because of the director's direction, saying, I want exactly this. And I loved working with him because it was like, he was just so precise. I knew exactly what he wanted, so it was easy to deliver, you know. Right. I like that.
Awesome. So Sarah, we're gonna wrap it up. We love your energy. We're so excited to work with you, and hopefully we can produce amazing things. Which I know we will. I'm a very positive person, and you know, this happened for a reason. I always feel when you connect with someone, it's for a reason. As much as everybody wants to fight me on that, we're all connected. Great minds come together and produce great things. I strongly believe that. But why do you think the Actors Garage is important? Tell everyone.
I don't think that there's enough places. I don't think there's anywhere actually where people can connect to produce things. There's plenty of places for actors to connect, acting groups, workshops, but there aren't enough places to connect with people who want to produce. There's a big shortage for that. So I think you're onto something with the Actors Garage. I really do. So I think you're going to get a lot of interest. I really do.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate your input. We appreciate you sharing your experiences and your opinion. And honestly, we really hope that we can like meet one day and hopefully brainstorm in person.
I know. I hope so. I just heard today that like a lot of the big offices downtown aren't going to be letting people back to work for 2 years.
My office, for instance, I spoke to my boss the other day. They're not planning for at least another 3 months to get us back in there.
Wow.
I heard today some places aren't planning on getting people back for at least a year in the physical office.
Well, yeah, some places they can't help it. People have to be close together, right? So
yeah, that's the thing, because they don't have the space to separate people. It's crazy. Well, you know what? We'll see. They might get a vaccine. They might get a cure, and this will
never know,
soon, right?
Well, absolutely. So everyone, this is Sarah Harvey, writer, actress. Just a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for joining us. You're not going to see the last of her. We're definitely going to see her in the Actors Garage, and we hope we see you in the Actors Garage.
Definitely.
Everyone stay safe. God bless, and keep creating and believe in yourself and trust in yourself and know that it's possible.
Definitely. Okay, we'll speak to you soon.
All right. Good night.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
All right. Bye, Sarah. Thank you.
Bye.
Dude, you know me, I always have to have a closer.